The next show we're going to be talking about is Natsume Yuujinchou Roku, or Book of Friends 6.
Yes. I feel like I'm just a broken record at this point. I really do. I feel like I'm just a broken record. This show is just what you see in the first season. If you like what you see in the first season, you're gonna like what you see in the sixth season, and the fifth season, and the fourth season, third, all seasons in between. It's more of the same thing. And if you didn't like it in the first season, don't watch the rest of it, because you're not gonna like it. Because it's just it doesn't feel like there's any, like, it just feels like it's one single continuation throughout the entire thing. You know, you're literally following, and this is the first for me to be like, because I'm not a good slice of life person. I'm like, I don't really much care for the series of those, and I'm just like, I usually avoid them. I could watch his entire life all the way through. I don't think I'd get bored. I think I'd be interested the entire time. You know, and they keep giving you little bits of you feel like, just like we were saying with Dungeon, how the new perspective would, you know, fine-tune everything that you already knew. It seems like every season of Natsume, the more you watch, the more it fine-tunes it that much more. And you really get the idea and the total scope of what this character, Natsume, has had to go through as a child with just the ability of being able to see all of these yokai. You know, and then you see how they keep doing flashbacks of his grandmother, and how you see how she dealt with how she saw yokai, and it's like night and day, two completely different versions, but it's still interesting in its own right, you know. And in this first episode for season 6, at one point. He's going along, and he ends up seeing this yokai who has his head stuck in a jar, and like a big, huge jar. And at first, him and his little cat buddy were like, "I don't think we should do anything. This seems like it's probably going to be a bad thing. Let's not do anything." And then he relents, of course, and he decides to help. And it kind of was, and it kind of wasn't, because, and again, this is another reason why this show is interesting. You always find different yokai. So here it is. They take a jar of this character, and the yokai is known as the Eater of Days. Now, what that means is they do a little bit of backstory later on with him, but what that means is usually what this yokai would do is, if you allowed it to stay inside your dwelling, give it like a day or so. It's a traveler, so it always is moving. But if you gave it shelter for a day, it would take one item of yours and make it brand new. So like they showed like a farming tool that it was like old and rusted, and then because the people, you know, allowed it to stay, when it left, it made it into a brand new. It looked like it was the first day it was ever probably made, brand new. So he helped him. So as a way of thanks, he ate the days of Natsume. So he turned Natsume into a kid. So this was interesting in the fact that literally he turned him into a kid. Like, all his memories up to that point were just gone. They were kind of there, but he couldn't remember any of them, because like it were vague notions that he could remember when he was seeing things. So, but you saw his personality and how he was as a kid, and you could tell then how he had a messed up childhood. And how he had a very distinct distrust for any yokai. Like, and his point in time in his life, when you see him up to like season 5, seeing him as an older kid, you see he actually gains trust and starts to actually, you know, he starts viewing yokai and humans in kind of the same light. There's good and bad, and he does trust that in a sense. But as a kid, because he didn't know any better, and because a lot of yokai took advantage of his naivete as a kid, he had a lot of distrust for them. The companion that he's had for most of his life, or for most of the life that you've seen in this series, all of a sudden he had a distinct distrust for.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there was interesting conflict involved with that, and it became very entertaining in that to see that. And eventually, his companion went and found the Eater of Days again and said, "I need you to reverse that." No, we appreciate the thought and the gift, but you need to reverse that. And then you kind of see when the two of them get back together how he's like, "Are we?" Because Natsume as a kid asked Neko Sensei, he's like, "Are we friends?" And he's like, No, we're not friends. We just kind of, go along together." But I mean, it was kind of one of those heartwarming kind of felt feeling kind of things. And you're just like, oh, okay. And then you wait, and his friends find him, sleeping, curled up with Neko Sensei. So it was kind of cool. But again, it's like every episode, unless there's something big or major happening, it's like every episode's its own little story in between, and you're just following along as you go along with it. So again, for anyone who's watched the series, I mean, if you've enjoyed seasons 1 through 5, you're gonna enjoy season 6. I have a feeling, because it's just a lot of the more of the same stuff, And then I'm just curious as to when they're going to bring back and start talking about how, or if he's ever going to join the Exorcist community, or what's he going to do with that. And so much unanswered questions, but you're always, every time you're more than willing to watch each episode just to see how things progress. So
like me, like I'm a broken record also. Every single time you talk about a new season of the show, I'm like, I gotta go back and watch it. I've seen the first episode of season 5, and I thought it was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know why I haven't gone back and just caught up, but one day I might do it. I don't know.
You better hurry up, because they're going to get to like season 10, 12. They're just going to keep on going, and you're going to be like, I'm going to do it eventually. I'm like, yeah, you got like 200 episodes to go, dude. Good luck.
It'll be like One Piece.
Yeah.
He's going to have kids and grandkids, and I'm going to be like, one day I'm going to start it.
I'll get to it at some point. It'll happen.
Yeah, all I can do is recommend it also. This is like rare for a slice of life show to just lock you down for 6 seasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one day I'll get to it.
One day. So, if you love fantasy in any way, shape, or form, this is definitely one to check out. I'm always
Mechs are way more complicated than cars. Like, they have arms and legs and billions of moving parts. So for her to be like, a steering wheel and